I thought I liked the all-in-one Artificer, but having just reviewed the Beyond Artificer, no, I was wrong. The Beyond Artificer is now my one true love. The rework is fantastic across the board. Artificers now feel like a completely separate class, as they should, rather than just a ranger with a robot and a gun. So, without further ado, Artificer overview. Let's go! Artificers at level 1 get virtually nothing, just 2 cantrips. That's it. And fair warning, these are the only 2 cantrips you get from levels 1 through 212, so pick whichever suits your playstyle and subclass. But don't worry, things immediately pick up at level 2. Here you gain access to spells. Artificers are a prepared caster, meaning you have a small selection of spells to choose from which unlock every time you gain access to a higher level spell slot, just like clerics and paladins. You gain access to first level spells at level 2, access to second level spells at level 5, and third level spells at level 9. The best bit is still to come. Hello, editor old person here, and I just discovered something during the editing process. When you are on the level up screen or are hovering over the create magical item ability, you get this rule that states that a creature can only benefit from one replicated magical item at a time. However, when you go to character sheet and characteristics and look up that ability, that rule is gone, and when I've tested it myself, I've been able to stack magic shield, magic armor, and ring of protection on a single character. I don't know which bit is true and which bit it is going to get patched out, so just bear that in mind for the following segment. Thank you. At level 2, you also unlock the truly iconic Artificer ability Create Magical Items. Now, unlike in All-in-One, which divided items into 4 separate categories attack, defense, mobility, and utility, and forced you to pick only 2 of these until you leveled up, Beyond has combined all magical items together under a single banner. You unlock a variety of magical items, some combat, some defense, some utility, immediately at level 2. True, you are limited to choosing only 2 of these per long rest, but you can switch between them. That makes you far more versatile throughout the campaign. Fighting Grim, up your attack and defense. Massacring your way through Moonrise Towers, Bag of Holding. By the way, big fan of how the Bag of Holding was translated into 5.5e Beyond. Instead of getting an actual bag where you would have had to move items in and out of that container, making you do a lot of inventory management, instead your carrying capacity is just multiplied by 10. Big brain! Anyway, this ability to swap on the fly allows the player an incredible amount of freedom, exactly just how the Artificer feels on tabletop. At level 6, you unlock more powerful magical items, opening up the next level of gear you can recreate. The number of magical items you can create per long rest also increases to 3. At level 7, you get Flash of Genius, a more localized version of the Paladin's aura. Flash of Genius allows you to add your intelligence modifier to a failed saving throw of your choice within 9 meters. You can use it a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier per day. At level 10, you unlock the very last set of magical items with Magical Item Adept. This includes Armor of Resistance, which makes the person you apply it to resistant to all weapon attacks, magical and non-magical. and a ring of protection that stacks with the ring of protection you obtained from Maul for stealing the idol for her, and the cloak of protection you can purchase from the quartermaster at Last Light Inn. The number of items you can create per long rest also increases to 4. Oh, and it doesn't say it anywhere, but the magic shield option AC bonus increases to +2 from +1 at level 10. At level 11, you unlock spell storing item. In 5.5e Beyond, instead of this ability allowing someone else to cast one of your spells, YMS, shout out to at Tazliel for the badass acronym, it's their fault. YMS made it so you gain an extra spell slot in each slot level you have unlocked. So simply you get an extra first, second, and third level spell slot. Other than the standard feats at levels 4, 8, and 12, that's the base Artificer. Now let's look at the subclasses. And we're going to do something a little different here. Because of the TISM, I have a tendency to over-explain. My brain just has a preference for clarity over pretty much anything else. So I am purposefully cutting about 90% of the explanations. I'll give you an overview of each of the subclass abilities, highlight one feature I found particularly awesome, and keep it moving. No massive info dumps. If you crazy folks do want the nitty gritty details, please leave a comment and ask. I answer all comments and will happily dump my insane level of detail in there. If you've seen my essay responses to one line questions, then you will know this is true. I'm doing this because watching my 40-minute video on the Battlesmith rifle build was torture, and I don't ever want to put anyone through that ever again, including myself, in case the mod gets another massive update and I have to review this footage to see exactly what I said. Alchemists are the least flashy but undeniably the most useful of all of the Artificer subclasses. At level 3, you unlock two very useful abilities. Experimental Alchemy. This lets you create two potions or elixirs instead of one if you pass a DC 15 medicine check while mixing ingredients. This is similar to the Transmutation Wizard's ability in Vanilla. So, if you pick this class, select Medicine as a skill, or grab a background that gives it to you, or make Shadowheart your designated alchemist. The second ability you get is the iconic Experimental Elixir. You can make two elixirs or potions from a designated list, no ingredients required, per day. And you can spend spell slots to create additional ones. The potion list covers almost every useful potion/elixir in the game, but three standout options for my playstyle anyway are the Elixir of Hill Giant Strength, 21 Strength, ooh, Elixir of Bloodlust, free action on kill, amazingly powerful, and the Elixir of Vigilance when you really need to act first. At level 5, you get Alchemical Savant, allowing you to add your intelligence modifier to heals or spells that deals acid, fire, or poison damage. At level 9, you get Restorative Reagents, letting you cast lesser restoration without using a spell slot a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. If you want to run an alchemist build, I would suggest leaning hard into the support role with feats like Healer, Ritual Caster, which lets you cast Longstrider as a ritual, Longstrider, and Genie Magic. By the way, all of which can net you a +1 to intelligence, allowing you to hit intelligence 20 at level 12. If you concentrate all of your skills into the utility based features of the Alchemist, you will be an absolute utility monster. The Artillerist is your ranged DPS option. At level 3, along with always prepared subclass spells, you unlock your Eldritch Cannon. Now, the text description of the Eldritch Cannon ability mentions custom aesthetics, but obviously in game that's not possible. Practically, getting access to the Eldritch Cannon simply means that you gain access to 3 new bonus action options on your action wheel. Flamethrower for 2d8 fire damage, Force Ballista for 2d8 force damage, and Protector 1d8 plus your int modifier temp HP. Just imagine the cannon, guys. Flamethrower and Force Ballista are great, but I want to draw your attention to Protector. This is one of the most powerful low-level abilities in D&D. For just a bonus action, it applies a renewable temp HP to every ally in radius. With proper positioning, you can cast it on turn 1. Temp HP shield for your entire party. Your party takes damage. Temp HP gets used up. Turn 2, you hit it again. Bam! Full temp HP shield refreshed. No other third level ability comes close to this sort of efficiency. And this is exactly how the ability plays out on tabletop. It's an amazing 1-to-1 recreation and I love it. Whew! At level 5, Arcane Firearm adds an extra 1d8 damage to all of your spell damage rolls, and at level 9, Flamethrower and Force Ballista damage increases to 3d8, and the Protector now applies 2d8 plus your Intelligence modifier as temp HP. On top of all of this, you gain a nuclear option, where you can explode your Eldritch Cannon to inflict 3d10 force damage to enemies in range, saving throw to resist. Oh boy, frickin' Iron Man. Armourer has been translated into 5.5e Beyond perfectly. At level 3, you gain heavy armor proficiency. You also ignore any strength requirements on armor. You get always prepared spells and unlock 3 armor models you can swap between. The Dreadnought, 1d10 force damage with reach, push and pull mechanics, and the ability to enlarge yourself. The Guardian, 1d8 thunder damage with a taunt mechanic. And the Infiltrator, 1d6 lightning damage at range with stealth capabilities. All of these attacks use your intelligence for the attack roll. At level 5, you get extra attack. At level 9, your armor damage also increases to the following: 2d6 force damage, keeping the reach and push and pull mechanics from earlier and gaining another 3 meters of reach. The Guardian, 1d10 thunder damage now with a taunt mechanic plus opportunity attacks when enemies enter your reach. The Infiltrator now does 2d6 lightning damage at range and applies the shocked condition to any creature damaged by this attack. Personally, I love the Dreadnought. The larger d10 into 2d6 damage dice, the extended reach, the push and pull mechanics, and the built-in ability to cast enlarge makes it feel incredibly active in combat. Also, with a few magical items, stacking AC gear and buffs, you can easily reach 32 AC by Act 3. Pair that with critical hit immunity and access to the shield spell via Amulet of the Harpers or Magic Initiate Wizard or anything else, you become unhittable. Not improbable or unlikely to get hit. Actually unhittable. Check out this video if you want to see how that mechanic works. Of course, That is assuming YMS has not changed how BG3 treats critical hit immunity in the 5.5e mod, of course. Fingers crossed. As you've probably figured out, Battlesmith is one of my all-time favorites. I mean, 40-minute video. At level 3, you gain martial weapon proficiency and battle ready, which lets you use your intelligence instead of strength or dexterity for all weapon attacks and damage rolls. While guns are great, pairing the Battlesmith with blade cantrips like Booming Blade and Green Flame Blade gives you insane battlefield control in place of a second attack. And at level 5 is when you get that second attack from extra attack. Combined with your Steel Defender, dual wielding setups can pump out massive damage. Or, as previously stated, you could go for a cantrip focus build. Slap on gear combos like Cacophony, Gloves of Belligerent Skies, Boots of Stormy Clamor, Circlet of Arcane Synergy, Necklace of Elemental Augmentation, and your Green Flame Blade is going to clear mobs with ease. At level 9, you get Arcane Jolt, which you can use as either as another damage source or a healing source, 2d6 applied either way. But I've left the best for last. The visual progression on the Steel Defender. Check this out. At level 3, it looks like a decrepit, rusty pile of armor. At level 5, it levels up and uses the Bernard asset. This was the visual asset it had in All-in-One. And finally, at level 9, it transforms into a medium-sized Steel Watcher. This is Larian level detail right there. And I am 100% here for it. And that's it. Artificers, assemble.